Hello and welcome to the Dweebz in Japanese podcast. I am one of your hosts, Patrick.
And I'm also your host, Will.
Oh, yeah. So we just
guys?
got. What's up, everybody? What's up, Khalil? How's it going?
Patrick. What's up?
So we just got done watching Darker Than Black episode 7, which I think is honestly more interesting than the other episodes beforehand. Like, it's more fun to watch because
it was more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, like the detective and then his assistant or whatever. Like I don't know if she's like a cat cosplaying. She looks like a student. I don't have no idea though.
Yeah, I actually don't know either.
Their interplay is pretty funny. So.
Mm-hmm.
But interestingly, there was no like Kirihara or other detectives showed up in that episode. So
yeah.
I wonder why. Like, why did they change all of a sudden to this detective dude?
Mm-hmm.
She's like more. Oh, she's more like a.
He's
like a personal investigator or something like that, right?
Yeah. She's like an actual.
She's like an actual cop detective. Yeah. Okay, I see. And because that one lady just hired him as like a personal investigator to go
get her cat.
Get the cat.
I'm thinking we'll probably see Kirihara after those vials start to, like, that little side plot comes into play.
What is that?
I don't know. Some kind of something.
So he's like, is he stealing that connection? Is he stealing those files from random people? Is he like?
I don't think they're random people. I think they're connected. I'm pretty sure it's just plots will be connected in the end.
But do they? Yeah. I'm just wondering, is every person carrying one of those vials that he's killing?
Yeah, he's killing them for those vials. I feel like it has to do with the perfume stuff because they went into detail about that.
Yeah, good point. And that was his hobby, and it's not a very weird hobby, and everybody just thinks it's a weird hobby, but maybe he's like hiding something in the perfume.
Right.
Yeah, and he was not very happy dude, so he's like evil or something. Or maybe that was his ways to combat the KX or something like that. I have no idea. I don't remember that part at all. Interesting. I'm glad you don't remember either.
Yeah, me too.
Makes it more fun to watch.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm excited for the show is so good. And it's always fun to go back on these things.
It is. Looking forward to watching more. We got a way to go. So
yeah, we got a lot of
episodes to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. We just talked about that because they're only 20 minutes long, so they're pretty short to watch. So we watch one before every podcast episode, and we have I don't even know how many left, 20 something. So it's gonna be like 20 more weeks. But I think it's a good, fun thing to do. Khalil, how are you doing studying Japanese recently? Any new habits or
nothing new?
Remarks?
It's pretty much just the daily little grind. It's about it.
The little grind.
The little grind. Not the big grind. But I would like to kind of change it up a little bit, make it more interesting, because now it's more or less like it's just like a habit now, so it's not, it feels kind of different in my brain than like a study session or something would be. So I might want to go do some little deeper dives every once in a while into something.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
When it's a habit, you're more likely to continue it. When it's a study thing, you're more likely to be burnt out.
Yeah, well, the thing is, my brain likes new things.
Yeah.
So things kind of get a little stagnant. So I need to find a way to mix it up. I feel like would help me kind of improve my productivity.
What do you think is the most exciting to you?
I don't know
after just one accounting. Yeah.
Don't know yet.
Like webcomics or
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Did you ever find the name of that
series? Yeah, it's I do think it was Comico or something like that. But I never I thought it was on Android. I know you have an Android phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do remember it being on Android, the Play Store. But I mean, I did think it was Comico, but now that I'm looking at it again, like last time, this is a Thai app from Thailand. Like what? The one I was looking at was Japanese. So
Interesting.
I'm not sure. I have no idea. There looks like to be a lot. So I would just go through and find one that's good. I think
Yeah, let's do some looking.
again, we talked about the last time, but we never actually did that.
Hmm.
I kind of want to do that too. I don't know. I've just been looking forward to the anime episode, and I've been reading a book. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would encourage you to go like look for um, some app or something, or maybe some website that you can just read on your phone
Hmm. I'll
with
probably
manga
end up
or webtoons.
trying out Comico.
Okay, yeah, that Comico looks to be the Thai app, at least on iOS. So I have no idea. So I go look on. I can maybe go to my old Android phone and see what app it was, but it probably has changed since then. So,
Yeah, probably, huh?
but it was
But
fun.
we'll
There was
take
like
it.
this one family comic that I was, or webtoon manga type thing that I was reading,
Hmm.
and it was really silly. It was really really silly, and they would release a couple. It felt like at least once a week, or maybe twice a week, or something like that. So I just get a notification on
Nice.
my phone and I go read it. And
Hmm.
I kind of miss that. I kind of want to go download the app again. I just have no idea. I kind of remember it being comic or something, but
Okay.
it might only be on Android. I'm not sure.
All right. So yeah, I'll work something like that. I think into my custodian. What about
Yeah, I feel
you?
like that for you
Hmm.
um, would not only be interesting because of just it's more interesting than news or something like that.
Hmm.
But also you being like an artist and wanting to get into webtoons too, it'd be fun to look at the drawings and stuff and
Yeah.
seeing how they're setting up their comic. And it's a webtoon too, so it's not. And what those are more, at least the one I was reading, it was more kind of panel based. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a long scrolling webtoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
If I look up, oh yeah, look at wait. Yeah. Comico on is the one.
On the
Yeah,
Android
I just
store?
looked it up on the Play Store and it is the one. And then a lot of people in the maybe it's just because my localization is in English. A lot of people are complaining about it being all Japanese. It's like, yeah, it's a Japanese app. Of course, it's going to be in all Japanese.
That's kind of funny.
It's a
Cool.
weird
I
thing
will
to complain
download that.
about. Yeah, it's kind of odd that the one I look up on the iOS store is
Is it different?
it's the same exact logo. It's just in Thai.
Oh well,
But
it is a Thai company, but they publish the Japanese comics.
interesting. I'm just wondering why. Like the title of the app though is
Oh,
in
it's
it's in Thai.
that's okay. I can't explain
I
that.
have my phone in Japanese and it showed up
And it's in
as Thai, so I'm a little confused.
is that's the only version too?
Is NHN Thai? It's a Thai. Well, I mean, I can go try to download it
Oh,
and
I see a whole bunch
see.
of different versions of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should look at. Oh, you know what I should do? I should look it up in actually Japanese instead of trying to
Oh yeah.
Komiko and see if it shows up.
Ooh.
Oh, the first thing that shows up is manga jam. Odd. Yeah, I'll have to go look for their version of it. It might only be on Android though, to be honest.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, which is super weird. That's annoying. Ah, man.
So, Patrick,
Yeah, what's up?
what have you been doing? I see you got some little notes in here.
Yeah, so I stopped watching another book, or reading another book, O Kami no Kodomo. I kept like, um, as I was reading it, I kept feeling a little bit like, oh man, I hope it doesn't go down this route. And then it kept going further and further and further down that
Oh
route.
no.
And the entire book, at least so far that I've read, feels like it's some fan fiction of like a housewife type of thing. But it's like it sort of feels like Teen Wolf or I barely know what Teen Wolf is. I just know that my sister
Same, I
used to
don't
watch
know.
that. I just know my sister used to watch that show. But like basically Twilight type of thing, where
Oh,
he's this
mysterious.
yeah, he's
Mm.
half wolf, half man, and at night or whatever, like the full moon, he'll turn into a wolf or whatever. But despite that, he'll be making her food, and he'll be working really hard for her, and she'll be home because she's pregnant, and like all these other things. It's like it's all from her perspective, right? So for me, it's just
Gotcha.
like I get it, and I get why women would like this, but it's definitely aimed at women, especially those who find like that interesting. So as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, I'll keep trying to read this. I know where this is going, but I'll keep trying to read it. And I'm like, I'm not. This is not. So
That's
in Japanese, you
interesting.
say toraru. It's like not catching me.
Oh, I see.
I'm just gonna go read something else that's a little bit more guys you with like action and like
Mhm.
suspense and mystery.
That's
Um,
funny because I've seen the movie of that. It sounds so different from what you've been describing.
really?
Yeah, the movie kind of takes place like the dude's like not really even in it. It's more about like how she's raising her wolf kids, basically.
So maybe that is the case. Does he like? Well, I guess I will. Well, I'm not going to continue to read it, but I might
Yeah,
watch the thing. Um, is it because I am only like 40 pages in or something like that, and but it is like a 200 and something page book, so I'm already
oh,
1/4 of the way done or whatever, right? So
gotcha.
it feels like the whole first part of the thing is just like their relationship, and he's working really hard, and
Hmm.
then he has all these, he brought back home a duck or whatever, and they or kijibato or kiji, like a pheasant or something like that. I don't remember what kiji means. Well, kijibato is
Also
like
kind of.
turtle dove or whatever, and then I think kiji. Anyways, he like brought back a bird,
Hmm.
and then she like made that because he's a wolf, right? And then she made that into like soup or something, like that kind of stuff. There's just a lot of that. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. Um, so I wonder if it's going to transition into him leaving or something like that. Does the movie do that? Like he's there.
The movie has him like in like the first maybe like 10, 20 minutes, and then he's like not really in the movie.
Yeah. So
I don't
that's
know
probably
what
how the
happens to him.
that's probably how the book goes too. I just can't get to that point. Is it
Yeah,
interesting after that though?
I thought so.
Kind
It's
of
more like
everyday
a
life type of
yeah,
thing.
the comedy stuff.
The comedy stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I would
It's
be
been a
more
while
interested in
though.
watching the movie, to be honest, than reading the book, because
Well, the thing
it
about a
feels
movie is it's only like if you decide to sit through the whole thing, it's like an hour and a half, but the book could take you much longer than
the
that
book
to
is
get
taking me a
through.
long time, and I'm like not
Yeah.
interested in the scene by scene type of stuff,
Yeah, so that's
page by
probably not
page.
really worth it then.
It's definitely not a page turner for me.
It's a soap
But
opera.
it feels like a soap opera, yeah. And so I'm ditching that one. I have another book that's interesting called Psychopaths, and I've been wanting to read that for a long time. I've had it on my bookshelf for a long time, like years.
Nice.
So I'll be picking that up. That's more kind of like Darker Than Black in a way. It's
Yeah,
and
I've seen the
there's
anime
a
of it,
there's an
but
anime, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if you like the anime. I don't know anything about it at all.
Nice. That'll be cool then. It's very interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about it at all. I actually don't even know if the Shosetsu, the novel, was made after or before the anime. I think
Ooh.
probably after, because that's normally how it goes. Um, because there's like lots of reference, or there's a lot of in a lot of novels that you buy in Japan. There's a lot of advertisements and stuff like that on paper inside of the book, and there's a lot of that pertaining to the anime. So maybe,
Oh, like go watch the anime
yeah. So maybe
or
that's
whatever.
it came after, just like the Okami no Kodomo book. I have no idea.
Interesting.
Maybe it was the opposite way. Anyways, I'm gonna try to start reading that. It looks a lot more interesting to me. I know some
Yeah.
people would like the Okami no Kodomo. Maybe even Judy. Maybe just hand it off to her. She might like it. I don't know. All right, your favorite Japanese words recently?
All right. Got one I've heard before and I heard again.
Hmm.
I think the first time I heard it was you, Ayashi
Okay.
suspicious. I think you said it when you were talking about like I'm pretty sure it was also while we were watching an episode. You like said somebody looked suspicious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then the detective mentioned that somebody looked suspicious. I think he was talking about the maid who keeps like creeping around the corner.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, you said that. You said that a couple of times. Yeah. She is suspicious. She's really creepy. Well, everything is suspicious about that place.
Yeah, it's all weird and messed up. And I think my next word is like something. Was it shoujo? I think they mentioned they were talking about that
So
too. Shoujo? Is that it?
I don't actually know.
Shoujo?
Is that ways of doing business or something?
Shoujo. Yeah, trade,
Yeah.
business,
Okay.
commerce. So
Oh,
like
okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they were talking about like his service, like their detective service.
Yeah. 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 The trade, like the general business of. I think it's shoujo is just like general trade, right? General business in something. I actually I don't even know. I know shobai is like commerce or business. Shoujo.
Does
Oh,
it have the
business
same
practice,
beginning
business
thought?
method, commercial, business practice, business method. Okay, I see. I see what you're saying. Because ho is like method, right? So
Oh,
ho is method. So show is like the show and shoubai. Shoubai is like business or commerce. So show, that kanji means like business.
gotcha.
So the business way is literally what those two kanjis
Business
mean.
way.
So it's like business practice. That makes sense to me.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
So I actually in Shoho. I got a couple, not from the. Well, I got two from the anime that we just watched. Yashiki, which is estate or mansion.
Oh,
Um, it's a pretty common word. I just don't use it personally myself, so I always
hmm.
forget about it. But yeah, yashiki is like mansion or estate. And then another thing that he kept saying, the detective, I don't even remember his name,
Same.
but he kept saying shike, shike, which means like my apologies or like impoliteness or whatever,
Hmm.
because he keeps goofing. He's like a gaffer, and um, so every time he would make a mistake or whatever or get in somebody's way, he would say, "Oh, shike." So shike. I'm bad at doing that little pause, the little chichai tsu, the small tsu. So it's shike,
Shike.
shike. It's not shike, it's shike.
Shike.
It's a little bit of difference there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then the next couple words, I kept saying for the longest time. I knew this word for a long time, but I just kept saying it wrong for years.
Oh no.
So shujutsu or um, shuzutsu, right? I know it's shujutsu, but the other reading trips me up. Zutsu, right? Yes, I'm right. Shuzutsu. So I kept saying for the longest time shizutsu, and
Oh.
everybody knew what I meant, even though I was saying it wrong. So I never got corrected.
Oh, they never.
So, but
That's
it's
funny.
sorry, it's a shuzutsu or shujutsu, and it means surgery. So that
Ooh.
comes up a lot, right? Like, well, Yashirazu means wisdom teeth, and Judy needs to get her wisdom teeth out soon. So um, that comes up a lot. Shuzutsu or shujutsu is the reading for that word. Surgery, operation, procedure, very common word. The other one that's kind of weird is this came up through the green card process, like vaccinations and stuff. We were talking about, did she get a certain vaccination? And this one was Mizubolsol. Mizubolsol. And you would never know what that means until you look it up. And it
Oh, really?
means chicken pox.
Oh.
Mizubolsol. So literally, let me go ahead and look this up. So Mizu obviously means water. But bolsol, let me go look up this. Bol is smallpox or blister. And then sol is like wound or boil. Or it's syphilis. So that makes sense to me. Water, blister, wound. So, blisters kind of filled with water or something like that. I honestly don't even remember. I had chickenpox, but I don't even remember what it was like other than I was just a little itchy. And I remember wearing a onesie for whatever reason. just wearing a onesie for like a week and not going to school. My chicken box onesie. All right, moving on to the wall of shame word, Khalil. What do you got?
Oh, still got life on there. Or raw.
Are you saying your life is shameful?
Yeah, it's just on there. It's gonna be on there forever now. Forever, forever shamed. So yeah, I numbers like barely changed. I don't remember what they were at, but it's like there's a 2% difference
I think
in
they're a
like
little bit better.
a little bit, like 2%.
Hey, progress is progress.
That's true. We'll get there. We'll get a new word on here. And the other one is the bread loaf counter. That's
That
the
one
one I
is
keep
so
forgetting.
weird.
Well, I keep typing in bread counter, but it's bread loaf counter.
Oh,
I
that's
forgot.
also annoying. Can you add a synonym for that? Because that is
Oh,
the
can
same
you?
exact thing for me.
The same to me. It is as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I don't. Can you add white listed words or blacklisted, whatever?
Whitelisted words, right? Yes. The app that I'm using, you can. It just asks you. Um, there's like an option to add it, but on the website, if you're using the website, either like the mobile website on your phone through the browser or your computer,
Hmm.
there's a little button next to the meaning, so you can add synonym.
Ooh, nice.
So
Okay,
I would just add the synonym as like bread loaf. Yeah.
that's good. I didn't know that. Sweet.
Bread counter. Not
Bread
to be
counter.
confused with slice of bread counter.
Oh no, what is that one?
That'll probably be my
My
mai.
my.
My is counter for flat things.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, loaves of bread being flat, you'd say like, you know, nanmai hoshi, nanmai ga ii. Like how many do you want?
Hmm.
Nanmai ga yoroshii desu ka? And then somebody would say, 2枚です, 2. Or
Oh,
3枚です, 3. Three. Like, say when you go to a restaurant or whatever, and you're ordering toast or something, or
yeah.
ordering plates, or ordering anything that's flat. You say my, which is weird, but
Hmm.
yep. The counters are annoying and difficult, but
They are difficult.
it all comes, if you don't know, it all comes back to 一つ、二つ、三つ、四つ、五つ、六つ. You can just use those if you want. So I would remember those first, and then try to remember the counters. And if the counters, but like as you talk more, you just hear it and you remember it based on context. Like you're in a restaurant, my comes up a lot, home comes up a lot, high comes up a lot because high is for like counters for cups and stuff.
Hmm.
So they're
Nice.
hard though. They're just weird. It's not something
Yeah.
I've experienced in any other language like Spanish or Norwegian or anything like that. I wonder if it's the same in Chinese though. Chinese and maybe Korean.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't know.
cool. So your life in bread counter, right?
Yeah, they're shameful right now.
So mine have not changed. Still, I'm still
Like I
on the
keep saying
hinge
it,
and still on the to shine, and I don't even know at this point if I'll ever see them. So there's kind of no point in doing my turn.
they're just lost to the void.
They're just lost to the void. I mean, it's been months now.
It has.
So I don't know where they are. There's a lot of kanji in Wanikani, so I mean, I'm
There is.
burning a lot
That's
of
the way
other
it's going.
things, just they haven't showed up yet.
That's what's important.
Yeah, I almost feel like I burned some of the. I almost feel like I burned to shine, but that's not. It's still showing up in the wall of shame, so maybe not.
Interesting. I wonder if like something else has to take its place first. Or
Maybe
oh, I'm sorry.
that's a good point.
Almost
Maybe
escaped my body.
that's a good point though. Maybe even if I burn it, I don't think I burned those though. But if I have at least one of them, then it's still like my shameful word because it took me so long to. But yours is updating though.
Yeah, mine
You
keeps
have to get to a
changing.
certain percentage before you can burn it, right? So I think that's not a correct hypothesis. But moving on to grammar lesson. So
Yay.
our grammar lesson today is I thought it was okay. It's just daro or da and des. So daro, when you add it to the end of a sentence, is like I believe or I assume or probably. So you can you can say des or da, right, to the end of a sentence. So for example, the example sentence here is like koichi wa okanemochi desu, right? So koichi is rich, okanemochi.
Okay.
Okane is money, and then mochi is hold. So okanemochi is like rich, he's holding a lot of money. And then to make that, so like, let me change the sentence here. Kariru wa okanemochi desu. So Khalil is rich. And then if you change des, or if you change da, kariru wa okanemochi da, you change des or da to daro, or no, daro means I think or I assume or probably.
Gotcha.
Based on whatever. So I can say Kariru-san wa okanemochi daro. Like, oh, Khalil looks rich. For whatever reason. So I don't know if you know rashi or like, for example, so, like oishi so. That looks good. Rashi is like seemingly, and daro is you kind of believe more strongly. Rashi is something that you kind of like, it seems to be the case, but daro, you're saying he's probably, You can also say, like, the more polite way to say, the more indirect way to say this kind of the same thing is to say tomo, like I think, right? So like Kariru-san wa okanemochi da to omou. I think Khalil is rich.
Okay, but you keep the da.
Da to omou. Yeah, da to omou. You keep the da when you're saying da to omou. Yes. But for daro, you're saying more, it's more casual-ish, and then it's something that you're saying that you think is likely or probably the case. So for example, another sentence is どのチームが優勝すると思う? So 優勝 is like kind of win the championship or tournament or whatever. And what do they say? Oh, Giants だろうね. So Giants will probably win is what they're saying.
Gotcha.
So daro is like probably, I assume, I think, but strongly, like this will be the case. But it's sort of wondering. You're not completely sure, but you think based on whatever that it is the case. And it's so common. This is really, really, really common. Yeah. And then also you can use daro for sort of assuming something. So for example, like you're talking to somebody and then they're telling you that they're studying really hard in college or whatever, like and then so you can say something like in reply, 勉強大変だろうけど頑張って. So, I think that studying is really hard, or maybe maybe they don't even say that studying is hard in college. You're telling me that, I'm working at a startup and we're starting this lab and we're having to do everything from scratch, and it's exciting, but there's a lot of moving parts. And I say like, 大変だろうけど頑張ってください. Like, it sounds, it's probably hard. It sounds hard, but keep working at it. Good luck. Ganbatte. It's like ganbatte is really a hard thing to translate to English.
Yeah, it's used a lot.
Yeah, the more you hear it, though, it becomes a lot more intuitive, but it is hard to translate to English because we don't really say that. Good luck is sort of the most close thing you can say, I guess. But sometimes it sounds sort of disingenuous because it's like,
Yeah.
good luck. It's not really. There's more feeling in gambatte. It's like work hard. We're rooting for you. It's like we're rooting for you. We want you to succeed, type of thing. So work hard. Where good luck just sounds like it's your problem.
Yeah, it
Good
does.
luck.
Well, good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Yeah. I think that I wonder also is a strong feeling for daro. So when you use daro, it also, I think that's really, there's like two meanings. It's either probably or I wonder. So for example,
Yeah. Okay.
あれなんだろう? Say that a lot. That over there, what is that? I wonder what that is. So, あれなんだろう? Or like いつかなえさんは来るんだろう? Like I wonder when Kanae-san will come. Or like いつカリルさんが来るんだろう? So I wonder when Chloe will come. And so that's another way to say that. I'm trying to give more examples to make it a little bit more easy to understand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what would you say for that, Khalil, when you think of, if you want to say in Japanese, I wonder when the pizza will be ready. Do you know how to say that? Or
I don't.
I wonder, because I'm sure you've heard of kana
Yeah, I
in
have.
the sentence. So kana is like, kana is sort of like, I think too, it's sort of like a maybe.
Is it a little more uncertain, or
I think it feels a little bit more uncertain for sure. Yeah, it's so, and it's almost like a worry. So if you're saying, I'm gonna go to the restaurant, but oishii kana, like you're kind of wondering, but oishii daro is saying that it'll probably be good.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably going to be good. I wonder if it's going to be good, but I think it's going to be good because
So it's more of like a positive kind of.
like it is a more positive for sure. Like you're looking at a restaurant and you're looking at the menu, and you're like, oishii daro. Like it's got to be good.
You're not sure, but you think it will be.
Oishii kana is like I don't know if it's going to be good. I wonder if it's going to be good. It's sort of the same
that makes
thing.
sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Very, 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 very common. That was a lot of varies. This article is really good because it goes into other things too. Kamoshirenai is another way to say maybe, and then people shorten that to kamo, which means maybe at the end of a sentence. Very, very common as well, but Daro is saying the more, like you were saying, the more positive. I think it's probably going to be this. You don't even have to say why, but it might be implied or obvious or something.
Yeah.
That's the best way I would describe it. I would look out for it more than try to understand the exact English translation. I would ignore that, go watch anime, listen for at the end of a sentence, daro, and see if you can understand why they're saying it in that context. So next time you watch anime or the next time you watch Dark in the Black or something, try to listen for daro, kana, kamoshirenai, or kamo. Kamo is also really, really common. Kamoshirenai is kind of long. Kamoshiremasen is more keigo, the polite way of saying that. So there's a lot of different ways to say it. Maybe, or I'm not very sure, because Japanese is very indirect. Hopefully that's understandable. Let's go ahead and move on to story time.
Make sure the grammar lesson.
Yeah, these grammar lessons are fun. It's a different way for me to think about it too, because it's explaining it is a lot more difficult than it is to understand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is.
You have to think about it more critically and like deeply. Everybody can
different than just using it.
Yeah, because not everybody's a good teacher, for example, right? Like you might be able to draw, but teaching how to draw is like an entirely different skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's with everything, music and any skill. So
Exactly. That's why being a teacher is a whole separate little fiasco.
yeah, no, I feel that with and that's why it's kind of hard for kids, right? Because they're like, oh, my teacher, they can't even they're not even, for example, my coach, they're like a basketball coach, but they've never even played professional basketball or whatever, so they don't know what they're talking about. Like they suck at basketball, maybe, but they could also be really good at teaching
Mm-hmm.
and like inspiring kids,
Right?
which might be more important than actually being good physically at basketball.
Yeah, there's more to it than just the pure skill.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was trying to describe. Okay, story time.
You had a good
R2D2's
one.
party. Yes, we have a really good. I said party weird. Party.
Party.
Um,
I don't understand the picture, but I'm sure we will.
one
Volcano with
second.
some clouds, or a mountain with some
Yeah.
clouds.
Let me read the preface here.
Oh yeah.
This is a story created for this is Mr. Russell Russell. This is a story created with my class for May the 4th. Yeah, right. May the 4th be with you. That's right.
Of course.
There is quite a bit of katakana due to various Star Wars characters and location names. If you are a true Star Wars fan, you might want to avoid this story. As with the other stories on the site, it gets rather ridiculous. And that's interesting because I didn't know that he actually creates these with his class.
I think that explains a lot.
That explains a lot too. So here we go.
Oh yeah.
I'm having to understand what these are. Oh, ジャージャービンクスという人がいた。ジャージャービンクスは面白い人だった。ジャージャービンクスはジャックにいて、I don't know what Jack is. ジャックにいて、ボーバーフェットに会った。ジャージャービンクスとボーバーフェットは R2D2 の誕生日パーティーにいた。ジャージャービンクスはダンスをした。ダンスがうまかった。上手だった。Sorry, I read that wrong. It's 上手だった. But there's a umae is also another way to it's the same kanji and then you just add e to it.
Oh, interesting.
ダンスが上手だった。パーティーが楽しくてみんなが嬉しかった。でもジャバザハット。ジャバザハットが来た。ジャバザハットはハッピーバースデーを歌いながらジャージャービンクスを吸収した。ジャージャービンクスはジャバザハットの中でダンスをした。ジャバザハットはちょっと気持ち悪くなった。ジャージャービンクスはジャバザハットの心臓を食べた。R2D2 はライトセーバーをジャバザハットを2つに切ってジャージャービンクスを助けた。ジャージャービンクスは R2D2 ありがとう。一緒にリッツのホテルに行こうと言った。ジャージャービンクスと R2D2 は A Whole New World を歌いながら空飛ぶ絨毯空飛ぶ絨毯 which means flying carpet apparently.
Yeah, I guess so.
I never knew that. 空飛ぶ絨毯でホテルにいた。ホテルでジャージャービンクスは R2D2 にプロポーズをした。けど R2D2 はごめんなさい、男の人に興味がない。女のイーウォークが好きと言った。ジャージャービンクスは悲しかったけど R2D2 と一緒にイーウォークの村にいた。イーワークの村に可愛いイーワークがたくさんいた。R2D2 は嬉しかった。ジャージャービンクスはたくさんの可愛いイーワークとデートをした かったけど、可愛い曰くがジャージャー・ビンクスとデートしたくなかった。ジャージャー・ビンクスは幸せに暮らさなかった。アーツ実はたくさんの可愛い曰くとデートして、可愛い曰くの4人と結婚した。アーツ実は幸せに暮らしました。That's the end. 終わり。
Huh.
Why does it always end that way? It always ends up somebody eating something, like a heart or something. Somebody getting married.
Or yeah.
Or somebody killing somebody else.
Like, yeah, that's kind of, I think we got this formula figured out.
Yeah. Like just look for those words. 殺した and 食べた, like 心臓を食べた, ate somebody's heart, or 結婚, married. Every single story we read so far.
Yeah. Even
except for the folk tales.
Yeah, those are kind of different.
Was there any parts of this that were confusing or?
Yeah, there's one part. What does Nagara mean at the end of like a sentence?
We had a grammar lesson a couple of weeks ago. So Nagara is like happening at the same time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like while. But
yeah.
again, it's not. It's one person is doing something while doing another thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not two people doing things at the same time. It's just one person doing something at the same time.
Yes.
So simultaneously, I am doing this while doing this. I can say like, podcast をしながらノートを書いてる.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm doing the podcast, I'm writing notes.
Okay.
But you can't say, Khalil, while you're doing something, I'm doing this. You have to use like 間に, so カリルが食べてる間に僕がノートを書いてる.
I see.
While you're eating, I'm taking notes. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
The other thing that tripped me up was the 空飛ぶ絨毯. 空飛ぶ絨毯. It's 空飛ぶ is like, flying to the sky.
Okay.
Flying. And then jūtān apparently is carpet. I didn't know that. Never heard that before. Jūtān. Because they also say carpet in Japanese. Look up jūtān.
Yeah, me too.
Again, like a lot of these are kind of dictionary words that you might not hear very often at all.
Well, I don't see it.
But I didn't know that. Trying to look for jūtān.
I guess I do see carpet.
Yeah, shinzo comes up a lot, so I'd take note of that. That's hard.
Mm-hmm. That's like the physical heart.
The physical, yes. Your organ.
Yeah, your organ.
Yeah. Kokoro is more of like your personality kind of heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Do you want to start off the conversation practice? And then we can end this thing, end this bad boy.
Sure. I just gotta think real quick.
Thinking
because I feel like every time I just ask a question, which I mean is a good way to start a conversation.
That is the way that most conversations start, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's not a question, then you have to talk for length of time.
Yeah.
Well, you can like end with the question. You can start with something that say, the other day, blah, 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 blah. I was thinking blah, 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 blah. What do you think?
I see what you mean.
Or, yeah. Or today I went fishing. What did you do? I can say that.
Okay. Pato.
Hi.
Sorry. Can I say kon asa? Like, is that?
Kyo no asa.
Kyo no asa.
Or kyo asa. Yeah.
Okay. Kyo asa. Chou nemui.
超眠い。
超眠い。
なんで？
ゆ、ゆべ、ゆべ、
夢見た
ゆべ、
ゆべ
ゆべ、
ああ、
長いゆべ、何ですか？
長い夢
長いゆべ、
長い夢長い夢ただ長い夢だけ
ん
かな長い夢って言ってもいいと思う。
ゆべ、ゆべ、
夢
長いゆべ、
長い夢全然わかんない。
長いゆべ、
長い夢
長い、ゆべ、英語はイブニングです。
ああ、OK、OK。何やってたの
あ、もう一度ください。
何やってたのあ、
やった。
ゆうべね。あ、ゆうべ。
はい、長い
ゆうべ。
ゆべ。あ、ウェイトレイ、ウェイトレイン、
あ、筋トレ
筋トレ。
筋肉ね。
はい、
筋肉のトレ。
はい、
トレー
筋
ニング。
トレ。
筋肉のトレーニング、筋トレ。
はい、はい、筋トレ。
あ、そうなんだ。だから疲れてるの
はい、
痛い筋肉。
はい、痛い。そして、火曜日、
火曜日
あ、毎火曜日
前火曜日
毎火曜日、ワワクチンが、
ワクチ
ワクチンをします。で、
前火曜日 ?2 回だけでしょ ?2 回。
2回、
2回だけでしょ
2回いえ、
?2 回。
2回。
2回じゃなくて2回ワクチン
1回。
注射やる。1
1回、は
回
い。
だけ
1回、はい。
これからもう1回やるでしょ
はい。もう1
?OK。
回。
で、それで終わりでしょそれで終わり。
いえ、
なんで前火曜日
毎火曜日。
終わらないのコロナウイルスのワクチンでしょ
ごめん、もう一度。
コロナウイルスのワクチンでしょ
いえ、
あ、違うか。何のアレルギー何の
はい、でも、はい、コロナ。
コロナだったらもう2回で終わりでしょ
2回終わりません。
何回やるの
何回あるの？い、1、1回？
?1 回だ
回
けもう終わったの
はい。1回終わった。
どれのジョンソン・ジョンソン
いえいえいえ、ファイザー。
じゃあもう1回やる
もう
これから。
はい、もう1回。
合計は2回。カリルさんは1回しかやってない。今まで。だから、来週の火曜日もう1回やる。2回目。
はい
2回
はい。
目。それで終わり。
はい。
だよね。そう。そうだね。じゃあいいね。僕もやりたい。こっちはね、ハワイに今日17日でしょ ?4 月。4月17日だけど、19日にワクチンやっと16歳からの人たちが
はい。
得られる。やってもらえる。だから、やってもらおうかな、ジュリーと考えてるけど、でも、受けても、やってもらっても、受けても、意味ちょっとないっていう。どこも行けないし、日本にも行けないから、
はい。
そこまですぐやらなくてもいいと思っちゃう。 いつかやるけど。いつか。
いつかああ、うん。いつかは何ですか
sometime。
いつか、ああ、
いつか、
はい、
いつかやる。
はい。
けど、いつやるかまだ決まってない。でも、もし日本がワクチンが受けてる人たちが来れますって言ったら、発表したら、僕たちが受けてもらおうと思
受けては何ですか意
う。
味は何です
receive,
か
receive。
ああ、
だからワクチンを受けるって意味は get a vaccine。
うん、はい。
だからワクチンが受けてもらったら、日本に行ける
はい。
かもしれない。maybe。
うん、
かもしれないの意味、maybe。
はい。
だから、でも、日本の政府、まだ決まってない。そのルール。
はい。
日本人だけ行ける、今、日本に。
お、そうか。
でも、そう。だから、僕はちょっと意味ない。
うん、
今。でも、いつかやるね。そう、結構ね、みんな、僕の妹がやったも、彼女の友達もやったと思う。もういろんな僕の周りにいろんな人たちがやってもらってるよね。コワーカーも、シアトルにコワーカーたちも結構
うん。
受けてる。だからこれからいつノーマルになるんだろうな。いつだろ
いつだろう。
う。いつだろう。I wonder when。なんか普通の前のコロナの前の状態に
状態
状態、state condition
お、
コロナの前の状態にいつなるんだろうな。
うん。
まだわかんないね。
ああ、いや、誰も、
誰も知らないよね。
はい、誰も知れない。
誰も知らない。10年後 ?20 年後一番かわいそうのは、一番かわいそうのは今の子供たちだと思う。学校に行けないじゃん。だから新しい友達とか、あと前の友達とか会えない。
はい。
インターネットだけじゃん。コロナの影響で。だから難しいね。
はい。悲
特に
しい。
小さい子供たち、小学校とか中学校とか、僕の弟も高校生、高校生だけど、高校2年生だから、ケイデンね。ケイデン
はい。
高校2年生だから、まだ大丈夫でも、ちょっと変だね。
ああ、
このコロナのインターネットのクラスとかやってる。でも彼半分週1回2回ぐらい学校に行ってるって言ってた。
ああ、
だからそれがちょっと行けることがいいよね。学校に。ちょっとだけ行けたらいい。でもマスクして、スペース、教室、クラスルーム の中でちょっとスペースを作って、6 feet みたいな
はいはい。
スペースを作って、で、座って、で、なんか、本当にパンデミックみたいな、前、映画と番組でしか見えなかった状況 is like environment,
Oh,
環境しか見えなかったよね。でも今は本当にある現実になっちゃった。それはパンデミックの話でした。
花
Pandemic.
Pandemic, what? Nani?
Pandemic.
Oh.
英語。駅 I think is Japanese. But pandemic も言う。They say pandemic too. But 駅 I think it's like 駅なんとか。
駅は pandemic? Pandemic?
Let me look it up. Oh, 反発? No. Yeah, pandemic.
Pandemic.
Yeah, I even read that, but Judy says it all the time. Pandemic. Okay. 終わりますか？終わりました。Okay. So that first part was a little rough, but I hope that it was easy to understand. I just kept saying the same thing over and over. I think it came across though.
Yeah.
It's hard to it is really hard to continue a conversation when you're first learning.
Yes, it is.
And then to understand, because like the other person, right, will try to understand what you're saying and try to try to ask you a question, and then try to ask you a question in a certain way and hope you understand the way that they're trying to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
And then normally that person will try to ask it a bunch of different ways, the same meaning.
Yeah.
And that often, like for me, it was really confusing because I thought they were saying completely different things to me, and then I felt like I was completely lost.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, they were just trying to ask the same question a different way.
Yeah. Which makes sense too, because there are so many different ways to ask something.
Yeah. And then they're hoping that like at least a couple of words in the new way that they're trying to say it.
Yeah. Hard.
Yeah. Like when you think about, someone, say in downtown Seattle or whatever, and they come up to you and maybe they're Japanese or something like that. And they're saying, "Hi, sorry, I want to go to Pike Place. Do you know?" Or like, and then you have to explain to them very simple English.
Yeah.
That sort of matches their level, how to get there. So you say here, and then point at a map or something, and you say left, right? If you don't know the Japanese, you froze. So, like explaining that to somebody who is at a certain level, like obviously the Japanese person will try to do that to you. They'll try to do that to me. When I don't understand something, they'll try to explain it in a little bit more simpler terms. I remember so my father-in-law was saying that to somebody. I think it was either a friend or maybe a family member, that when they were talking to me, that they should use simple Japanese. Yeah, so basically everybody was speaking simple Japanese to me, and then I could understand what they were talking about. And so like if they're having a conversation with other people, obviously they use more difficult Japanese or the more natural Japanese. And so that's how I would learn. I would just be like listening to them and trying to understand how the conversation was going. And then I might chime in and say something. But when it comes to me telling a story, it was so hard in the beginning to try to use all those describing words, to use the connecting pieces for the story. It is still hard now. Like, I can get the story across, but I want to add emphasis in places. I want to make the part of the story that I'm telling exciting or suspenseful, and it's very, very hard to do that naturally, and add the right words that don't tell too much as I'm telling the story. You know,
so you could have that full control.
So you're gonna, it's a
over what you're. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard
over
to
the
do
story,
in
over
English,
people's
too.
emotions and stuff like that. Yeah, it's hard in your own language, right? Telling stories is a skill in itself. So that's not something I'm super concerned about. Although it is more fun, obviously, if you can tell a good story.
Agreed.
To people, then people want to listen, and so it's something I definitely want to practice a lot more. And I do every time I go to Japan and visit my in-laws and friends and stuff, because they're always like, tell that one story, do that one thing, and I'll have to, think of the best way to frame it and the best way to pace it.
Yeah. So you can get that reveal at the right time.
Exactly. Yeah, and get everybody laughing. So it's a fun challenge. And sometimes, actually more often than not, it'll just fall flat on the floor, on my,
okay.
fall on my face. Everybody's like, ha ha. I wanted like a big laugh, but everybody's like, ha 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 ha. But
yeah,
it's, those stories that everybody knows though, and you tell again, then people know the ending, and and they're gonna laugh anyways because they remember it. But when it's a new story coming from me, and I'm telling a story and describing it, like my in-laws, they know me and they know my limitation with Japanese, and so they're just happy they can talk to me. Versus some other family they have here that they can't really communicate deeply with at all. So my level of communication for them is way deeper than what they're used to with their family over here.
Yeah.
So they appreciate that, but still I feel like I have a lot more to go, which is fun for me. I like that you never stop learning no matter how many years you've been doing this, That's fun for me. That's not intimidating at all.
It's a lifelong skill, man.
Yeah. And you can always get better. It's just like anything.
Yep.
It's just fun. So cool. That was good. It was a fulfilling episode, I think. That's a weird way to say that, but awesome. So let's wrap this up. You got your ender?
No.
Nope, we never have our enders. All right.
Never have our ender.
Ni. Ichi. Oh, one thing I want to say before we end it, by the way.
Oh yeah.
This is not kakigori. I thought for the longest time this is kakigori, and then now when I'm reading it, it totally makes sense. This says tokse, which is like specialty, and then kori, right? That means ice. Right here.
Yeah.
And Judy was like, "Oh yes, but your specialty ice thing, you're like hata or whatever it is, the flag thing." And she was selling it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I thought it was kakigori, like shave ice, for the longest time." And she's like, "No, it's just like fancy ice."
Just fancy ice.
I was like, "Oh, I thought this was like a shave, something that they put it on a restaurant, like a shave ice, not a restaurant, but like a shave ice stand or something like that, right?"
Yeah.
She's like, "No, it's just specialty ice, like clean water ice,
Oh.
you put in whiskey or something like that."
Gotcha. It's interesting.
Oh.
Kakigori.
3、2、1。バイバイキーン。
じゃあね。またね。いい。